Okay, so I have a half-gallon mason jar, and I have filled it with my apple peelings, and I also went ahead and put my cores in there. You want to make sure that it is covering the apples, and you mix 1 cup of water to 1 tablespoon of sugar. This took me 5 cups of water and 5 tablespoons of sugar to fill it up. Now you'll see that the apples are going to want to float to the top, so I don't have a fermentation weight. If you've done fermentation in the past, you may. I'm actually going to use a 4-ounce mason jar. It did ooze out a little bit, but that's okay. You don't have to use a mason jar because you're actually going to cover it with something breathable. I'm going to use a coffee filter. You can use a piece of cheesecloth or a tea towel, something that is just going to basically keep the dust out, keep any critters out, but allow it to breathe. So I'm just going to put a elastic around the top, and you want to put this in a warm spot in your kitchen or a warm spot somewhere for the fermentation process. Now, after 2 weeks, you're going to drain all of the apple peels and replace the liquid back to the jar. And you'll see I did cut off a couple stems, and if the blossom end was ugly, then I cut it off. But all of my tops and the blossom ends that didn't look ugly went ahead and went into the jar. But after 2 weeks, you are going to drain off all of the apple peelings. You can feed those to an animal. You know, I'm sure your pigs or chickens would love it. But you're just going to strain off all of your scrap particles and then replace it back into your warm spot. In the wintertime, it may take a little bit longer if you don't keep your house really warm. In the summertime, this would happen very fast, but this is apple season. If you're wanting an organic apple cider vinegar, you do want to make sure you have organic apples, or at least wash them really good. I mean, mine are organic. They came from a local fruit stand, but I'm going to put this away. After you drain all of the scraps out, you're going to want to let it sit for at least another 4 weeks before you put an airtight lid on it. Of course, if there's mold, you want to discard it. Something happened, but it may form a mother on top. If you're buying like a really good organic apple cider vinegar, like Bragg's is a really good one, and it'll say with the mother. That is similar to what forms on the top of kombucha. If you've ever made that before, it's good for you. Some people find it really unappealing to look at, so they scrape it out, but it's really good for you if you can stand to look at it. So it's kind of like a, I hate to say it, but mucusy, and it'll form on top, but it's good for you. So leave it in there with your apple cider vinegar. Now, if you're trying to use this to can with, you do not want to do that, because when you buy store-bought apple cider vinegar, it is 5% acidity. Now, you don't know what kind of apples they used, and depending on what kind of apple you used, the acidity is going to differ, so it's not safe for canning. You can stir this if you'd like every day. I don't usually stir mine. It's personal preference, but if you're stirring it, make sure you use something non-reactive. So you want to use a plastic spoon or spatula, or a wooden spoon or spatula. But I'm going to go ahead and put this in the pantry and let it get going. And I'm going to get back to processing the rest of my apples. As always, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe.